Oh no,
Oh
that
no,
was
that was
Greg.
Greg.
What's that? I'm here. What happened?
Oh
Oh
no,
no,
I
I
started
started
streaming. I
streaming.
thought
I
that
thought
was
that was
GJ
GJ
that
that
jumped in,
jumped
but it
in, but it
wasn't.
wasn't.
Oh.
All
All
right,
right,
Andrew,
Andrew,
take a look
take
at
a look at
this.
this.
I'm
I'm
installing
installing
um,
um,
the
the
Linux
Linux
distribution.
distribution.
Do I
Do I
want
want the
um,
um,
that on the
that on the
bootloader?
bootloader?
No,
Do I
No
no.
hook that
again.
up with uh, Ethernet cable, or how does that hooked up?
I just hooked up with wireless right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
well,
well.
I
whatever.
haven't had a chance to try it yet.
This
This
is the
is the
server.
server.
Oh, this is the server side.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
just
just
was
was
installing
installing
Linux
Linux
version
version that
he was
he was
talking about.
talking about.
Hey
Hey
GJ, what's
GJ, what's
going
going
on?
on?
Hey guys, what's up?
Not
Not
much.
much.
So sorry I'm late. I thought it was gonna be at 9. Was it? Did you guys start
No,
late?
you're early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're. I
I
just
just
always get
always get
started to
started
make
to
sure
make
all
sure
this
all this
stuff is
stuff is
running and
running
up
and
and
up and
going.
going.
Cool.
So do we want to go through like the PowerPoint, Chris?
I
I
guess
guess
GJ, you
GJ, you
tell us
tell us
what you
what you
want
want
um, for
Well,
tonight.
tonight.
I was gonna go through the PowerPoint on my own.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, and I'll just give pointers if anything. We still haven't discussed with my my director when we can meet and have that have that. I call it a presentation, but it's not really a presentation. It's more like it's more like convincing a group of people that we should.
I literally feel like I'm peeing every 5 minutes.
This is kind of every day in UITS, and they kind of want you guys to go through the same thing. So, basically trying to sell the idea.
Okay.
So I don't know what's in the PowerPoint presentation. If it glosses over the idea of the project and how to achieve the end result, then that's probably going to be good enough. I don't think you'll be met with a lot of questions, especially since it's a selling the idea thing. There's not a lot of, there's no implementation yet. So
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what the
what the
PowerPoint's all
PowerPoint's all
about. It's
about. It's
just
just
pretty
pretty
much
much
the
the
just kind
just
of
kind of
putting it
putting it
together,
together,
just
just
kind of
kind
the
of the
beginning
beginning
stages
stages
of it,
of it,
kind of
kind of
what
what
we're
we're
using,
using,
our
our
idea of
idea
how
of
to
how to
make it
make it
work.
work. So, and then
Even
even the
the back
back
end, we
end, we
haven't
haven't
developed the
developed the
dashboard,
dashboard,
which
which
we've
we've
explained
explained
that
that
in the
in the
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
That's
But
kind
that's
of
kind
pretty
of
much
pretty
what
much
it
what it
is.
is.
okay, yeah, that'll probably be all right.
Do you have access to our Google Drive, or do you mean just send you a copy of it real quick?
No, I have access to it. At least I
Okay.
uploaded a file to it, so I should be able to see anything
Oh,
else.
yeah, you should.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like a brief overview of the milestone one. So we're using like the database, the runtime environment, as well as some just kind of like a summary over using the Raspberry Pi and what Linux distribution and things of that nature. So, for example, PostgreSQL is the database we'll be using.
Yeah.
Part of that is the ability to use. It's got notify, listen. I forget the other one, but essentially, rather than running queries on your database, the database sees a change and then notifies a client, rather than kind of cycling through requests or something. You don't have to do that. It's prompted from the database side.
Okay.
And then we're going to be using Node.js, which is the JavaScript runtime.
Mm-hmm.
So it can run both client and server, as well as Socket IO, which I can't remember if it's referred to as a library or not, but it's built on Node.js specifically for WebSocket connections. So it can create a TCP connection to a device and stream data back and forth. But that's kind of the route we're going right now, in terms of what we want to do with it and what we've kind of seen as the most straightforward route to accomplish it. So, but basically, it'd be Node.js running on a server with the database, and then a client running Node.js that may potentially run bash scripts or something along those lines, where you have your built-in Linux utilities.
Yeah. So the
They
client
just
in this
display
case,
data.
the client in this case are the pies themselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's pretty much where we're at in terms of milestone 1 and planning on what we want to do next.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll talk to the guys on my end and see what time works for everybody. I don't want to scare you guys. There is one guy, my director is pretty technical. So if he comes at you with questions about how you're going to implement stuff, don't be too fazed by it. If anything, take it as an opportunity to think about different ways of doing things. So
Right.
yeah, he's not going to be like, oh, you guys are doing it wrong, you should do it this way. But he might give
I'm open to that.
he might give you ideas to think about it a different way.
I'm open to that idea.
Just one of those that loves to spitball ideas. So
well, now Andrew's kind of he's been the one, he's kind of been the brains to coming up with a lot of it. We're just kind of taking his idea, and I'm kind of coming behind him and duplicating what he's doing to make sure it's going to work. So Andrew's kind of the one that's kind of come up with the idea. So he's kind of our guru as far as developing this kind of
yeah. For me, it's a learning process too, because I've only really ever used MySQL. I haven't used PostgreSQL.
Yeah.
And then I haven't really done anything with Node.js, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Well, I mean, and there's a lot of technologies for this stuff. So if you're not getting far enough with one of them, you can always implement the idea using a different stack. So
right.
If you get stuck on one, just take the idea and just use another tool.
Transfer it over somewhere.
Yeah, like if this was my project, I would probably try to get as much technology as possible that's already done.
Right.
And just try to inject my solution into what's already done. There's a lot of dashboarding software out there that probably takes half the work away from you.
Right.
And what you do is pull data into it, like Grafana. And then there are like round-robin databases that you can just inject polling data into, like Redis or stuff like that. So you may want to look at existing solutions and see if you can take advantage of that, so we can cut your work in half.
Right.
So you don't have to learn Node.js if you don't want.
Well, part of it was it's got a lot of built-in packages for doing certain things.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be me programming something from the ground up. A Capstone class just isn't long enough for me to learn that much JavaScript.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does have a lot of stuff built in, kind of some built-in packages for PostgreSQL. So I didn't want to reinvent the wheel there.
Yeah.
So yeah, anywhere I can, I'm trying to find stuff that meshes together well in some manner.
Yeah.
And then like creating dashboards. Initially, it's probably going to be something really simple, like there's some text on a page, but I've seen some stuff like Plotly, for example.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, I think the common dashboard that I think that they would probably be imagining would be like graphs of
right.
Good going up, bad going down. Something simple like that is probably what.
It's like where you want to be, where you're at.
Exactly. And over time, kind of visual representation of how good or bad things are. So, because up and down is a simple, green, red, yellow, whatever. But
right.
Yeah, what they would like to see, I'm guessing, would be.
Is there any way you can send us some of that stuff? Just to have, or
some of the technologies that I mentioned?
Yeah, the dashboard stuff.
Yeah, I can put it in chat right now.
Okay.
I don't know if I can't do it while I'm in the call, so I'll just do
it.
No,
hey, that's fine. Just whenever you get a chance.
Yeah.
But that's really all I had off the top of my head, other than what exactly is in the PowerPoint.
Okay. I'll go over the PowerPoint tomorrow and see what you got.
All right. So you're gonna. So we need to meet with your people way before this semester ends or whatever.
I mean, when are we thinking about a meeting?
I would like for it to happen as soon as possible, so if you can not be pigeonholed into one direction, and then have this meeting and then
find out if you didn't like it.
Exactly, be like, oh crap,
right.
Didn't think of that. So I'll talk to them tomorrow and see how quickly we can turn this around. And I was mentioning to Greg that if you can be there in person, great. But if you can't, we can set up a WebEx. And you can join remotely.
Okay.
So I know some of you are not exactly local.
Yeah, I'm about 40 minutes south of Atlanta, and that's the airport.
So yeah, we'll figure something.
I think I'm the only one that's actually close. Everybody else is at least an hour away.
Yeah.
I live in Suwannee, off of 85, so.
Yeah, going through Atlanta traffic just for a 30-minute to an hour meeting is not. I wouldn't say it's worth it. So we do so much of our stuff remotely, anyways. Mm-hmm. I'm in Marriott campus half the time, so I'm not there half the time.
So GJ, let me interview you for a second. What do you actually do? I know you're the Linux admin. What are you kind of do?
I'm the assistant director for the Linux server team. So I've got 3 people under me, and they're all system administrators. And we manage the fleet of Linux servers that make up a lot of the services that are run on campus. So Banner, the student information system that you guys use to register for classes and check your grades. The primary website, so www.kennesaw.edu. Moodle, which is a learning management system. Many others. Those are just a small sample.
Are you guys planning on going hosted with Banner?
Yeah, they're actually taking Banner away from us. So
yeah, kind of forcing people into it.
Yeah, USG runs Banner.
Right.
The option of either them running it for you or you having it hosted locally, and they're doing away with that option. So now they're just going to host all of it.
Right. I work for Georgia Southwestern and Americas, so we're hosted right now, and that was a pretty massive undertaking for us. And I know Kennesaw is considerably larger than we are, so I can only imagine what that's going to be like for you guys.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten started, and we're right now going through a Red Hat 7 upgrade project to get all the Red Hat servers up to Red Hat 7. And just doing that is a giant undertaking. And then as soon as we finish that, we have to then hand it off to them. So that's 2 major projects in a row.
Right.
I think ours just went to where they're hosting a chat tech. So
I think all TCSG is doing that.
Yeah.
Because they used to be part of West Virginia Tech, so that was in the stages long before.
Yeah, if you knew just how small the operation is at USG, you would be concerned. But they're pretty talented people over there. They know what they're doing. I think the guys that run Banner, it's like a 4 or 5 person team.
Wow.
That's how big it is at Kennesaw.
Wow.
So imagine 4 or 5 people at USG running the entire USG Banner.
Well, they've got some substantial infrastructure too in terms of like data center.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all underground with multiple power sources and fiber links and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was the big driver for us is redundancy. Being in a small town, there's not a lot of redundancy available to us. We have one fiber link that it went out because somebody ran into a pole, and this was a few months ago or something. So we prefer to get critical systems off campus.
We have a token ring between Kennesaw and Marietta, and a backhoe cut it off for 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cobb County was doing some water line maintenance or something, and they just cut it with their backhoe. And then once they realized what they did, they took lunch. So we showed up, but nobody was there. So yeah, they got.
Wow.
Have you? I think I remember that because your website was down at one point on emergency services.
Yep.
One option, just random thought. Have you talked to USG about using the Global Transfer Manager?
Yeah, so we now have that. We have a. So the problem was before, there was never enough money for it, right? So now that happened, and now the money's like pouring in from everywhere. So now we have the remote data center at USG, and we have DNS hosted out there. We have Active Directory, our primary website, and a little bit of Banner down there. So if it happens again, we have the tools to stay online. But
the way we ended up doing that was we did the Global Transfer Manager, and we have the USG Cloud something, I forget what you call it. It's the hosted VM center.
Yeah, the VDC.
With the VDC. So we every 24 hours we make a copy of our website on the VDC, and if something goes wrong with our web server, it automatically swaps over.
Yeah, we have ours in real time, synchronizing.
It's we've had to use it a few times.
We've gotten lucky. We haven't had anything that bad happen since then. But yeah,
I guess. Go ahead. What?
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say some definite lessons learned from that backhoe incident.
I've been there, done that.
Call before you dig is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the ones who were supposed to call.
But did you have anything else, Chris?
I was just going to ask, is there anything, DJ, that we need to be, I mean, besides you said your boss being technical, everything, is there anything else that we need to think about that I guess you don't really know until you look at the PowerPoint. So
yeah, I won't know. I will have some suggestions for you, I'm sure, after I read it.
Okay. Because I think we're working pretty well together. I think we've got an idea on how to make it work. I guess is there. I mean, we're going to place these throughout. I know we've already talked about. We're going to place them throughout campus. We're going to get the information, push it back to the server, and then they're going to view it from a dashboard.
Yep.
Is there anything else? Any gotchas?
Not that I can think of. I'll run it through the idea man who wrote the capstone information and see if there are any gotchas. But I can't think of it.
Usually those come after you throw it out there.
Yeah.
The problem, a lot of times, I got this great idea, and this is how it should be, and then it gets implemented or gets close to implemented or it's in process, and all these other variables start coming up. So.
Well, I mean, the thing is I would love to take this idea myself because I work for a school system. I'm the network admin there. I would love to put this in place in my system because I get so many calls the wireless now. And I ask the question, what does that mean?
Yeah.
A lot of the times, I've noticed we'll have complaints in the dorms and things like that about wireless. And, I mean, we have things like Aruba Wireless that gives us a lot of information about the devices, but it wouldn't tell you if one of the radios in the AP is down, for example. So you've got the 5 gigahertz radio and you got the 2.4, and one or both are down, but the AP shows us online.
Exactly.
So you go do a walkthrough, and you realize, oh, half the radios are out in this hallway.
Yeah, and that's the exact scenario that they're trying to. One
thing actually I thought of in terms of things that might catch us. I'm not sure the built-in Wi-Fi in those Raspberry Pis will pick up the 5 gigahertz range.
I don't think it does, to be honest.
So that might be problematic.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a problem.
That's something you could fix, I think, pretty easily.
Yeah. Or I don't know if the newer versions of Raspberry Pis in the future will just out of the box support 5G.
I imagine they will.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be so cheap eventually.
Yeah, as long as the idea is there, and you know, the basic capabilities there, and I don't see why we can't, tweak it in the future to support the different bands.
Right.
So are you saying that the new ones that we're purchasing now, they don't have the 5G? The 5.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The 5.
I think they still don't. Like the even the Ethernet is what is it, 200 megabits?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing's $35, so
yeah.
So,
yeah.
I can't expect much. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The entire box of kits that I gave Greg was like, what was it, like $400-500 for them, with the entire the 10 cards, the PoE hats, the power cords, everything.
Now I'm looking at the specifications that they're online through the Raspberry Pis. It does say it's under the specifications 2.4 and 5 gigahertz along with Bluetooth.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Well, you know what? I've got we do Arrowhive where I work at the school system. I'll have to go in the morning to see which one it is, because we have the dashboard. I can see all the stuff, so I can see which band it's using. So from the Arrowhive stuff. So I'll jump on and look, see what I'm connected to. It's probably going to be 2.4 though.
Yeah, and I think that's what the majority of the students and the folks in housing and the student centers, that's probably the majority of the traffic is on the 2.4 band.
Right. But we use Chromebooks for the system, and they automatically switch to the 2.4, and the Arrowhive guys each year was like, you need to try to force them on the 5 gig, because we were, it was causing a lot of slowdown on our Chromebook devices, so I had to go in there and do some tweaks on our access points to get them to force to 5.
You know what? I'm going to see if I can get some information about the KSU Wi-Fi and pass it down to you guys, so that if you do come on campus to try and test, whatever you're building, that you don't run into any gotchas like that.
How many SIDs I guess, what are the students connecting? Are they connecting to a student wireless?
Yeah. So, and that's all the information that I need to get to pass on to you, because, like, when you connect to the wireless on campus, I don't know enough about Wi-Fi, but I know there's, like, is it WEP2, and there's, like, the certificate involved, and you need to have a federated login. So is it
using the 802.11 Enterprise, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think so.
And it authenticates to Active Directory, or is it a Radius server?
I think it's Radius.
Okay.
Then we'll probably have to set up on our end, maybe not now, but definitely have to think about in the future, a dedicated account for the Pis to use and connect as.
Right. Because most likely we'll have to, if you have some sort of registration system, we'll have to do that as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll see what information I can find about that they can give me.
Yeah, because we're going to have to be able to identify those devices. And I guess maybe Andrew and guys, we will probably have to identify those devices, because I don't think we put that in our documentation.
That'll probably be done like via MAC address or something simple.
Okay.
MAC address / host name. Things like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've considered that.
Yeah, I have too. I mean, you got to know which one's being placed where. Isn't there a way to identify MAC address by, MAC address by name?
I guess this mouse is probably going to be what we're
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely know the MAC addresses beforehand of the 10 pies that we deploy, so we'll have that information beforehand.
Well, GJ, I think that's it. I think actually that's it with all of us. We'll wrap it up. I guess if we have any questions with the group or whatever after. Does anybody else got anything else? I mean, that's pretty much it.
I mean,
tonight.
Pretty much as soon as I start going on it, I might think of some stuff. I'm definitely open to suggestion.
All right.
So.
I occasionally read the Hangouts, but if you need my attention, send me an email. It's the best way to get my attention.
A lot of it's just noise anyway.
It is, yeah.
Us going back and forth.
I use Hangouts with a lot of my friends back home, so I got a lot of chats pinging all the time. So
just mute us. That's probably Dr. Lee's got some mute on something.
So. Yeah. So I've got some tasks, I guess. So I'll definitely follow up with you guys very soon.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, GJ.
Good night.
Thank you, GJ.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, real quick, I'm not going to be here next week. As far as Tuesday, do you want to do another meeting some other time?
Tuesday or Thursday works best for me.
I mean, I can do a Thursday. Well, seems like I got something Thursday next week too. So. But
what if we meet on Tuesday and then I can meet with you whenever you need to, Chris?
That's fine. That's fine. We've done enough Sundays chats.
Yeah, we may end up meeting on Sunday anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we don't have anything urgent, we probably can skip it till Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the other.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all just want to go ahead and plan the meet, just to meet, just kind of say, hey, this is where we're at, and then y'all can fill me in later. So
sure.
Somebody just make sure you record it if you want to, and just take notes.
All right.
So is there anything else? I think when I was trying to say this next milestone is probably going to be one of those that we'll have to figure out all the little details, like the student stuff, information, and hopefully we'll have a working.
Yeah. I gotta sit down for a few hours and start plugging away, basically. That's the thing. Just find some time and do it.
I mean, and again, I said it with him in there. You're going to be our go-to person. So these questions they're going to ask you about the database stuff and all this client stuff. I don't have a clue. I don't know. I've never worked with it. So I mean, once we get it installed,
it's not going to be a big deal.
Okay.
You got to understand, even if you can't satisfy them, I mean, it's too late in the game to pull out now. This is a capstone course for college credit. You shouldn't have thrown it out there. So whether or not they like it, we're going to do the project, and somebody's going to get credit for something. That's just the way of the world. You can't. It's there is no to throw your hat in the ring.
Well, he did.
There is no plan B for us.
That's what I'm saying.
He did say that whenever I was in the offices. It was kind of more of a get your hands, get the feel of it. It's not like they're going to back out or they're going to say no, don't do it. We're still going to do it. It's just this just gives us that experience.
Well, it's going to be tough cookie because there ain't no plan B. I mean,
right. Do y'all want me to just go put all these together and get them set, ready to go, or hey, what do you want to do? I mean, I don't mind doing all that. I know Pawan wanted one of them.
Y'all can split them between the two. I mean,
if I want one like that, I'll just buy one, to be honest. Because, I mean, it's going to cost me in gas what it would to just buy one to come get it.
Where do you live, Andrew?
I live in Americus. It's like a 3-hour drive from Atlanta.
Yeah. So you're farther than me. I thought you were closer than...
No.
Americas.
I went to the first capstone class.
Georgia?
That's Southwest Georgia.
You work with what's her name? Pawan.
Michelle.
Michelle. You work with Michelle?
Michelle, she doesn't. I think she works for UGA, doesn't she?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
She lives down there.
In Americas, let me Google that. That's very interesting.
I didn't realize you lived further than me, Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah, it's a trip.
You need to move to Atlanta. You'll have so many opportunities in Atlanta.
That's where I'm looking right now for a job. I'm applying to like security analyst positions right now. So like Home Depot, Chick-fil-A, Delta, places like that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You trying to get out of America?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My boss knows I'm looking for a job too. He's not exactly happy about it. He asked me yesterday. He saw my haircut and he's like, "Did you get a haircut to do a job interview?" I was like, "Yeah." He was just like shaking his head.
Probably nervous.
Yeah, because he came to me earlier today saying, "We need to schedule some time with you to take a look at all the stuff you do with Blackboard to make sure we have a handle on that."
So they're not even going to fight for you?
They can't really. They aren't willing to pay. They aren't really willing to give people raises.
That sounds like me, but I'm supposed to get one when I get my master's.
They did a salary study with the university system. And are we still being recorded?
Hold on, stop it.